Welcome back to SecretSpool's Therapy Thursday. I'm Ellie, and tonight's story is for anyone who has felt invisible while being the one everyone else relies on. This is a story about emotional weight, unspoken exhaustion, and the quiet moment someone realized that even the strongest people need support too. If you've ever been the steady one, the helper, the listener, this might resonate more deeply than you expect. Tonight, we're stepping into the quiet corners of someone's heart, where strength and loneliness have been living side by side for years. I've been called the strong one for as long as I can remember, the dependable friend, the listener, the calm voice in a storm. It wasn't a title I asked for. It slipped onto me gradually, the way someone might drape a heavy coat over your shoulders without noticing the weight they've added. At first, I didn't mind. It felt good to be needed. But over time, it became a role people expected me to fill, even when I was running on empty. Maybe it was because I grew up learning to keep my feelings tucked neatly away so I wouldn't inconvenience anyone. Maybe it was because I always seemed to know what to say when someone else was hurting. Or maybe it was simply easier for everyone around me to lean on me than to look deeper and see that I had my own cracks. When you carry yourself like someone who can handle anything, the world believes you. But recently, something shifted, something small yet heavy enough to tilt everything. I realized a truth I had been avoiding. Nobody checks on me. Nobody asks how I'm doing. Nobody notices when I go quiet or wonders if I'm barely keeping myself together. It wasn't anger I felt. It was a slow, sinking ache that wrapped itself around the question I'd been too afraid to ask. Who supports the strong one? For most of my life, my phone has been full of messages that begin with, "Hey, can I vent?" Or, "Do you have a second? I really need advice." And I always answered. Always. It didn't matter if I was tired, overwhelmed, or quietly unraveling myself. Being there for others became part of my identity. Listening made me feel purposeful. It reassured me that my presence mattered, even if my own needs were slipping further out of sight. But being useful slowly turned into being used, and I didn't recognize the shift until much later. There were weeks when I cried silently in the shower just to release the pressure building inside me. Weeks when I stared at my phone, hoping someone, anyone, would notice the emptiness in my messages. But no one asked. No one sensed it. Not because they were unkind, but because they had grown accustomed to my strength and forgot I might need something too. I was the sturdy one, the problem solver, the emotional support who never seemed to need support in return. People unknowingly built their stability on top of my resilience, and the more I filled their cracks, the more my own fractured quietly beneath the surface. It's exhausting to be the foundation when no one realizes you're made of the same fragile material they are. Everything came to a head one night as I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, feeling a hollow ache inside, the kind that feels like a quiet unraveling. I'd had a difficult week, the kind where every small task felt monumental. I caught myself wishing someone would reach out first, just one message asking, "Hey, are you okay?" But the silence stretched on, thick and heavy. It made me realize how long I'd been holding my breath, waiting for a kind of support that never came. When my phone finally buzzed, I felt a flicker of hope, only to see familiar messages. "Sorry, I need to talk. Can you call me?" I really need your advice." Not one person asked about me. For the first time, instead of answering immediately, I hesitated. My fingers hovered over the screen, and in that quiet pause, something inside me whispered that this wasn't sustainable. I love my friends deeply. They're good, caring people, but love doesn't automatically create balance. Sometimes love creates blind spots. Sometimes familiarity convinces people that your strength is endless. Sometimes people become so used to you being okay that they forget to wonder what might be hiding behind your steady smile. It wasn't malicious. It was simply the consequence of carrying myself like someone who never needed anything. There's a particular kind of loneliness that comes with being the strong one, a loneliness that settles in your bones. It's the loneliness of absorbing everyone's pain without having a place to release your own. The loneliness of nodding empathetically while feeling like your own voice has grown faint. The loneliness of reassuring everyone else that things will be okay, even when you're quietly unsure about your own tomorrow. The moment that changed everything happened during lunch with a close friend. She was overwhelmed, so I listened like I always did. I offered comfort, perspective, gentle reminders she deserved to hear. When she finally relaxed, she smiled and said, "What would I do without you?" And in that instant, something inside me crumpled, because I knew exactly what I would do without her. I would still be carrying the things no one knew I was carrying. So I took a breath, a shaky, unfamiliar kind of breath, and said, "Can I be honest? I'm really tired. I've been struggling a lot lately." She blinked in surprise, as if the idea that I could struggle didn't fit anywhere in her understanding of me. Then she asked, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I didn't know how to explain that when you've been the strong one for so long. Admitting you're hurting feels like breaking a contract no one remembers signing. That moment forced me to reevaluate everything: my friendships, my boundaries, and the emotional habits I'd built over years of self-neglect. I realized I had shaped my entire identity around being dependable. I had made myself the safe place, the unshakable one, the person who never broke. And in doing so, I had forgotten how to let anyone in far enough to see me clearly. So I started making small, difficult changes. When someone reached out on a day I had nothing left to give, I said, "I can't talk right now, but I care about you." It felt uncomfortable at first, like I was betraying the image people had of me. But slowly I learned that setting a boundary wasn't unkind, it was necessary. My worth wasn't measured by how much I could sacrifice. I also began allowing myself to reach out. I sent messages saying, "I'm having a rough day," or "I really need someone to talk to." Not everyone knew how to respond, and that was okay. Some people stepped up quietly, offering warmth I didn't realize I'd been missing. They reminded me that support isn't supposed to flow in just one direction. Friendship is meant to be a circle, not a funnel. The biggest lesson I learned was this: being the strong one doesn't mean being the silent one. You don't have to carry everything alone. Your feelings matter just as much as anyone else's. Your exhaustion is real, and it deserves compassion. You're allowed to rest, to ask for help, to lean without apologizing. Strength is not measured by how much you can endure. It's measured by how honestly you can honor your own limits. Thank you for spending part of your evening with me. If tonight's story made you feel seen, please remember this: your softness is not a burden, and your strength does not erase your humanity. You matter, too, and you deserve the same support you offer to the world. If you'd like more stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again next Therapy Thursday. Take care of yourself tonight.